Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahavana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Kaumarva Acharit Pragya Dharman Bhagavatani Ha Tullabang Manasang Janama Tadapi Adhrubam Arthadam. This verse we have been discussing in our last meeting. The purport is from very childhood. The boys, the children should be taught about this God consciousness or Krishna consciousness. The mistake of modern civilization is that we are bringing up spoiled children. So when they are grown up, if they become hippies or communists, it is not their fault. It is the fault of the guardians. It's the fault of the guardians. When the people become just something against the social convention, it is not the fault of the youngsters, but it is the fault of the education system, it is the fault of the parents, it is fault of the teachers, because they are not teaching. Prahlad Maharaj said that from the very childhood one should be taught. I have seen in India the Mohammedans, they are very much particular about it. The small children within 10 years, they are from the very beginning, they are taught Quran in the mosque. I have seen. In my Delhi headquarters, it is just behind the Jama Masjid. You have heard the name of Jama Masjid. That is the greatest mosque in the world. Many foreigners go to see it. It was constructed by Emperor Shah Jahan, say about 300 years or little more than that. So the Mohammedans, they are very particular to teach Quran from the very beginning. That's a very nice system. Either you teach Quran or you Quran Bible or you Quran teach Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't matter. One should have the idea of God consciousness. Then he can develop. So this opportunity should be offered to the children. If not, they are not real guardians, real parents or real teachers. Why? Dullabang Manasam Janma. This Prahlad Maharaj teaching is not this Bhagavatam, just mark it. Prahlad Maharaj says a Dharman Bhagavatam, the religion of God consciousness. He does not say Hindu religion or Mohammedan religion or Christian religion. Dharman Bhagavatam. As I explained already last week, Bhagavat means it is pertaining to God. So, whatever your idea of God may be, that must be impressed from the childhood, that there is God. Actually there is God. To deny God or God is there is simply rascal. So, whatever religion or sect you may profess, the Prahlad Maharaj says that one should have the idea of God consciousness. We don't say, neither Prahlad Maharaj says that Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna means God. But if somebody has got objection, Krishna, because this name is Indian name or Sanskrit name, or Krishna appeared himself in India, it doesn't matter. We are concerned with the philosophy, with the teachings. Just like Buddha, he was also Indian, he was Hindu, Kshatri. Why Buddhism is accepted by so many people of the world, whole Japan, whole China, Burma, and why? The philosophy is concerned. Just like Christian religion. Christian Lord Jesus Christ, he appeared in Jordan. Jordan or Jerusalem?
He appeared in Palestine.
Palestine, near about that place, yes. Anyway, he was not European or American or Indian or Chinese, but there are many Chinese Christians, there are many Indian Christians, European Christian, American Christian. So, if some idea of religion is developed in a particular country, we should not take it that it is meant for that particular country. No, that is a mistake. God is one. No. Just like the sun is one. It does not mean if the sun appears in America, he becomes American sun. No. Sun is sun. He is neither American nor Indian. But he rotates. He sometimes appears on the American land, sometimes on the Indian land, sometimes on the Chinese land. There is a very nice verse in Chanakya Sloka that he gives the example, say broad-mindedness. Nahi harate josna chandra chandalavishan. Chandal, according to Vedic conception, a chandal, a class who has dog eaters, and they are meant for very low class duty, so they are out of the caste system. Chandala means fifth dimension. Brahman, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these four classes are accepted, and beyond that they are called Chandala. So Chanakya Pandit says that even one is Chandal, that does not mean that the moon sign will not be delivered there. The moon is so liberal that it doesn't matter whether it is the house of Brahmin or it is the house of a Chandal, it doesn't matter. That's why when rain falls, you have seen, experienced, there is no necessity of rain on the sea. The vast mass of water there is, but rain is falling there also. Why? It is liberal, meant for everyone. Rain is not only meant for land, it is meant for the sea also. Similarly, any God consciousness movement, it does not mean that it is meant for that particular country or for that particular section. No. Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam don't consider it that it is meant for the Hindus or for the Indians. It is meant for everyone. Just see. Dharmana Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj says that from the childhood one should be taught the science of God. Dharman Bhagavatam means the science of God. Just try to understand the word dharma. Dharma is generally translated into English as religion. But dharma does not mean a particular type of faith. That is not the Sanskrit import. Dharma means the natural quality. That is, everything has some natural quality, characteristic. Everything. So natural characteristic for every living entity is to serve. That is the natural characteristic. Every one of us who are sitting in this meeting, nobody can say that I am not servant. Every one of us is a servant. You go up to the highest man, your Prime Minister, or USA, the President, everyone is servant. Nobody can claim that I am not servant. So therefore, either you are a Christian, or either you are a Hindu, either you are a Mohammedan, but you have to serve. It is not that because one is Christian or Hindu, he hasn't got to serve. Just like so many Indians, they have come here. What is the profession? They are serving here some company or some institution or some university. So serving was there. In India, service is also here. So this is religion. Religion means the characteristic. You cannot change your characteristic. In whatever circumstances you may be, the characteristic will continue. That is the meaning of religion. Dharma and Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam means partnering to God. Then what is that? Then the characteristic of relationship between God and myself, that is called religion. Religion means that characteristics of God, characteristics of the living entity, and to dovetail them. The characteristic of God is great. That is the character. And we are small, little. This is our character. If we are not small, then why you are serving the great? Serving means there must be somebody greater than me. At least the money is greater than me. If I don't serve the man, but the man, my master, who supplies me the money, that is greater. So actually in this material world there is no genuine service. Everyone is serving the intention of sense enjoyment. That's like from tomorrow there will be postal strike. What is that? They are not serving the government or the public. They are serving their salary. Is it not? As soon as there is some less salary, they strike. Therefore, I have got my service spirit and I have to serve somebody. That is my natural characteristic. You cannot deny it. Now you have to find out where your service should be engaged so that you may not be frustrated. That is it. There is one verse in Bhagavatam. One devotee, he has taken sannyasa. Sannyasa means the renounced order of life. Just as you see me by my dress, this is called sannyasa. Sannyasa means, this is a Sanskrit word, sat nyas. This is sannyasa. Sat means the supreme, the absolute truth. And nyas means renounce. One who has renounced everything for the service of the Supreme. He is called a sannyas. Sannyas does not mean a particular type of dress, a particular type of beard. Sannyas means you can become a sannyasi, even with your this coat pant. It doesn't matter, provided you have dedicated your life for the service of God. That is called sannyasa. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said, anasritam karma phalam karjam karma karoti ja sa sannyasi. Sa sannyasi sa yogi cha. Nachanna akriya. The meaning of this verse is that anasrita karma phalam. Everyone is working in this material world for some salary or for some remuneration. But if one works not for salary or for remuneration, but as a matter of duty, anasrita karma phalam karjam. Karjam means it must be done. Karma karoti ja. In such a way, if somebody acts, then sa sannyasi, he is sannyasi. Just try to understand. Anasrita karma phalam. You are doing some work. Why you are doing some work? Either for some salary, or for some profit, or for some gain. Otherwise, nobody is working useless. He must have some gain. But one who does not utilize that gain for his sense gratification, but works as a matter of duty, karjam, karma karoti, sa sannyasi, sa yogi. Such person is actually a sannyasi and yogi. You have heard the name of yogi. Yogi means that he has no other business. The sannyasi and yogi is the same, because yogi has no other business. He is simply trying to concentrate his mind on the Vishnu. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pasyanti yam yogina. Yogina. Not these bluff yogis, the real yogi. Real yogi means he is always in meditation. Dhyanavastita. Dhyana means meditation. Dhyanavastita manasa, where meditation is performed in the mind. That means concentrating the mind. Dhyanavastita manasa, then what is the concentration? Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pasyanti yam yogina. Yam, whom? That means the Supreme Vishnu. One who sees the Supreme Vishnu always within his mind by concentration. He is called yogi. Yogi does not mean to show some magical or gymnastic feats. This practice of asana or breathing exercise that will help you for concentrating pratyaha. There is a term, pratyaha. Pratyaha means you draw your engagement of the senses from matter and you engage them in the Vishnu. That is yogi. The Bhakta Yogi, which we are teaching in the Krishna Consciousness, they are the topmost yogi, because they are being trained to draw the engagement of the senses from anything outside Krishna consciousness. They are trying to draw the senses from everything and applying it in Krishna. Just like we are trying to chant Hare Krishna. When you chant Hare Krishna, that means we withdraw our mind from all other engagement and try to engage my mind and ear on the sound vibration of Krishna. This Krishna being absolute truth, there is no difference between the person Krishna and the name Krishna. In the absolute world, there is no relativity. Therefore, when you concentrate your mind on the sound vibration of Krishna, that means you are concentrating on the absolute truth. And that is the process of yogi. Yogi, somebody may think here there is no bodily exercise, no breathing exercise, how they become yogi. Real yogi means to concentrate the mind in Vishnu, Dhanavastita. So, the original form of Vishnu is Krishna. And therefore, concentrating the mind on Krishna, even by vibration, because there is no difference of identity between the vibration of the name of Krishna and Krishna. Therefore, this is the highest form of yoga practice. And life dedicated for Krishna's service. All the students, all the disciples, they are engaged how to broadcast the message of Krishna. They are trying to find out the opportunity in so many ways. They are making arrangement for distribution of prasadam so that one may be attracted. At least he may hear the word Krishna for once when he comes to take Krishna prasadam, or he may hear the vibration of Krishna, or he may hear something, teachings of Krishna. So this is the movement of Krishna consciousness, and it is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita that yoginamapi sarvesam madgata antaratmana. He is the first class yogi who always thinking of Krishna within himself. That is yoga practice. So the Bhagavad Dharma and Bhakti Yoga or yoga practice, everything synonymous. There is no difference. But this is the easiest process. Here you will find the students, although they are not exercising the bodily asana pranayam, it is automatically being done because the mind is the center of all activity. The mind is always engaged in Krishna. That is Bhagavatam. So as we have explained several times in these classes, that this concentration is required, and that should be taught from the very beginning of life. Kaumara. Kaumara means from 5 years to 15 years. From 16th year, one's youthfulness begins, say after 40 years. Then middle age, and after 60 years. Then after 60 years, one is old. This is the definition of different ages. So Kaumara acharit prajna. If one is intelligent, if one is wise, prajna means wise. If he is a fool, rascal, it is not for them. Chaitanya Charitamrita therefore says, Krishna je bhaje sevara chatur. Chatur means very intelligent. Unless one is very intelligent, he cannot understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And if you try to find out intelligent class of men, naturally the number will be very small. If you want that in this street, find out some boys who have passed their MA examination and PhD examination, hardly you will find one or two. But if you try to find out the illiterate or without any education, you will find many. So we should not judge by the number. We should judge by the quality. What is the quality? So this Krishna consciousness, even though you may not find many students, but any one student who has understood this philosophy is very intelligent. He is very intelligent. If you like, you can talk with them and you can try to understand what they have understood about the science of God, and you will be pleased. Even a neophyte student, he will answer very satisfactory. Because as soon as you become Krishna conscious and you follow the rules and regulations under the direction of your bona fide spiritual master, at that time you become yourself bona fide. And as soon as you become bona fide, the response from within will come, because Krishna is within you. Krishna is everywhere. Krishna does not mean just like the sunshine. The sunlight is everywhere. Similarly, Krishna is everywhere. As we understand from the Brahma Samhita, annantarastham paramanuchayantarastham. Krishna or God is within this universe and within this room, within your heart, even within the atom. Annantarastham paramanuchayantarastham. So Krishna is within you. As soon as you become sincere, Krishna will respond from within. If you want Krishna or God sincerely, then the help will come two ways, from without, from within. From without, by these books of knowledge, by the instruction of spiritual master, you will get help from without. And as soon as you are serious to follow, then you will get instruction from within also. Within. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesam satatujuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. One who is seriously engaged in my service with faith and devotion. Priti purvakam. Priti means love. Not that official. As soon as there is less salary, there is strife. Not that kind of love. They are considered that the government servant and very faithful to the country's service, but as soon as a country or government does not pay, everything is rejected. The Krishna service does not mean like that. That as soon as Krishna gives everything. One who knows, one who is intelligent, he knows that Krishna is supplying him everything. Actually Krishna is supplying. Either you give service or not service. Krishna is so kind. Even those who are not serving Krishna directly, everyone is serving Krishna, but not directly. What is the difference between ordinary man and this Krishna consciousness man? The difference is that Krishna consciousness man knows that I am eternal servant of God, therefore let me willingly serve Krishna. And others, they are also serving Krishna, but by force, by maya, by the qualities of nature. Just like a citizen of a state who has violated the laws, he is also obeying the laws in the prison house, forced. If you don't obey, then you will be punished. That is called prison life. And if you become obedient to the laws, then you are not outlaws, you are free, out of the walls of the prison house. So either you obey or not obey, you have to serve the laws of the state. Similarly, either you be Krishna conscious or not Krishna conscious, you have to serve. But in non-Krishna consciousness condition, you have to serve your senses. And in Krishna consciousness condition, you serve Krishna directly. That is the difference. Sarvapadi vinimuktam tatparatena nirmal. And if you serve Krishna, then you become purified, your senses are purified, exactly like the same example that when a citizen is free and willingly obeying the laws of the state, he is free from contamination. And as soon as he is disobedient, he is contaminated, therefore he is put into the jail. Similarly, our material existence means that we have revolted against the will of Krishna or God, therefore we are dragging the struggle for existence, and as soon as we become again obedient to Krishna, we shall always remember that our characteristic is to serve. So by natural way, if we serve God, then we are happy, and by unnatural way, if we serve our senses, then we are unhappy. This is the difference. Service you have to give. So intelligent man, he thinks that throughout my whole life I have given service to the lust, anger, and desire, and so many things. We are serving, always remember that whenever we serve somebody, we do not serve that person, but we serve our lust. Because the person will pay me something, and out of the payment I shall be able to gratify my senses. Therefore I am not serving anyone, but I am serving my senses. That is the saman savastha. That is the saman savastha. Similarly, if you serve Krishna, the same service is there. Only difference is that it is not service to the sense gratification senses, but it is the service to the sense proprietor. Rishikesha. Krishna's another name is Rishikesha. Rishik means senses, and Isha means the Lord. Krishna is the Lord of the senses. Therefore his another name is Govinda. So instead of serving the senses, if you serve this Lord of the senses, then you are in a natural condition, and that is called Bhagavad Dharma. So Bhagavad Dharma is nothing unnatural, or Krishna consciousness is nothing unnatural, it is very natural. Simply you have to change from one platform to another. Instead of serving your senses, you have to serve the senses of God or Krishna. That is called Bhagavad Dharma. Thank you very much.
Well, in which way one can engage oneself for the best service for Krishna, or best use one's time for Krishna service, largely?
Therefore you have to be guided by your spiritual master. Otherwise how can you know? It is not possible. Any school you go, you have to be guided by the school teacher. Otherwise don't have any education. So this is also kind of education, Krishna education. So you have to find out a bona fide school, you have to find out a bona fide teacher, and then you learn. That's all. If for Krishna consciousness you go to somebody who is engineer, then you cannot have Krishna consciousness. But if you go to engineer, how to become engineer, you can become engineer. And fortunately, we have got departments of knowledge in our educational system, but actually there is no department of knowledge where Krishna consciousness is taught scientifically. That is a great necessity of the present day. But if you are sincere to learn that vijnanartham sagurumeva vigachet, it is indicated by the direction of the Vedas, then you have to approach a bona fide person who can teach you Krishna consciousness. Then you will learn it. Why not? You can pronounce them properly. Everything you can learn. Just like I am speaking in English, English is not my mother language, but I have tried to learn it and I am doing my business. That's all. Similarly, you can learn any language. You can learn Sanskrit, you can pronounce very nicely. It requires learning, that's all. Well, the pronouncement may be a little different, that doesn't matter. Just like I am speaking English, it may not be just like American or Canadian or English. But I am doing my business, that's all. That does not make any difference. Nobody is asking me, the Swamiji, you are not pronouncing like an Englishman. They are concerned with the subject matter, that's all.
How do you teach Krishna consciousness to a 5-year-old who's only children? What things can you teach him? What subject matter?
How you are learning. You are also young. Anyone who is completely, unaware of Krishna consciousness, he is to be taken as child. Doesn't matter one who has got age. It doesn't depend on the age. It depends on the knowledge. So, not only young children, but anyone who is unaware of the science is also a child. And anyone who knows this science, he is old. Viddhattam vayasa vina. There is a Sanskrit word that one man has become old even without age. This is contradictory. How one can become old without age? Suppose a boy is 16 years old, just like Sukdev Goswami. He was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam when he was only 16 years old. But he was so learned that when he entered the assembly, all the great sages, including his father, stood up to receive him. So he was oldest. So he was older than his father. Why? Because he was so learned. So our childishness or experience, old age, means according to the acquirement of knowledge. If one is advanced in knowledge, he is to be understood older. And if one is not advanced in knowledge, he is a child. That's all. The child does not mean that a 5-year-old boy. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was only 5 years old. And just see how nicely he is teaching. So he is older than any other man. At least he is older than his atheistic father. So you should always remember that any man who is not aware of a particular subject matter, he is a child in that subject matter. And one who is fully aware in this particular subject, it doesn't matter what is his age, he is to be considered as elderly.